guys, it's Shay, and I am building in the Discover University pack. I am revising the Maritime Manor, which is some student housing available for those students who decide that the dorms aren't for them. I had a really distinct shape in mind. I wanted something super modern and interesting looking that would give some various spaces for the students to carve out locations for them to study and build their skills for their courses. Like I said, I wanted this to be super modern, so I do use a lot of glass, a lot of very neutral colors such as black and white. I'm sure that it hasn't become apparent already that I do tend to use a lot of black and white in my builds anyway. But for this, I really had, like I said, a very clear idea of exactly what I wanted to do for the build. I really love these black windows, and I like that there are so many different windows that come in neutral colors now that we get to choose from. At this point, I decided I wanted to extend that out a little bit, so it'd be just a tiny bit of a balcony. So if there was inclement weather of some kind, that the Sims could still sort of step outside. Not that they necessarily care, but for me, I really like the way that it looked. Just keeping this cement, I really like the cement patterns and the floor tiles that we have available. I just think they're really clean. I love the idea of using cement in the houses themselves. I don't believe that I end up doing that in this build because I was trying to make it look as if perhaps someone bought this and remodeled it and is now, renting it out to students. I don't know if anyone else's college experience was like that, but I know that mine was. There were a lot of families who had bought, second homes or whatever and would revise them and allow students to live in those spaces. And so for me, that's really common, and so that's kind of what I was trying to mimic here. I wanted a bit of greenery, but not too much. Things that looked sort of hardy and natural. For the realism that most likely students are not going to be gardening and taking care of plants. So everything that is there are things that don't necessarily need to be taken care of. Not unlike the actual gardening elements that are available in The Sims 4. In keeping with the theme of the really modern sort of look and feel, I decided that I wanted to use the really modern mailbox, and I wanted there to be a differentiation in between the trash bin and what I would consider to be maybe the recycling bin. So I made those two different types. Again, just adding some more greenery to really brighten up the place without having it be the student's responsibility to water these things, weed them, tend to those gardens. Just trying to keep it sort of lively and really interesting looking. I believe the brick that I used there is from the university pack. I loved the brick patterns that we got in those. I just think they're really clean. And really look like brick patterns that you would see in either super modern universities or really traditional ones. I wanted the kitchen space to be right at the base of these stairs. I thought that was pretty realistic. It's a very open floor plan. I love an open floor plan. And so I find myself often building those in The Sims. But I wanted this kitchen to sort of be a semi-enclosed space so that I could use this wall tile. I don't actually stick with this one, though. I really love that blue, but I have a really hard time finding floor tiles that match it or that complement it in some way. And so I think I end up choosing a completely different wall tile, something that goes with it a little bit better. Going with some warmer wood tones, I don't think I keep this cabinet color either. I think I end up going maybe one shade darker. Yep, here I go. One shade darker, just to sort of tie in with those little bits of darker, like burgundy and maroon in the wall tile. The wall tiles are actually from another pack. They're not from the university pack. I'm using these island counters because they're amazing. and beautiful and so clean and modern looking. I really love them. And they also sort of almost have an IKEA kind of feel. And my thought process behind that was a little more based in realism, with this idea that, you know, most people who rent houses to college students are not going to put in super high-end cabinetry, knowing that they're probably going to have to replace it, due to parties or whatever it is. I also really love the look of this table. I just think it's so cute. And I saw that these chairs that are from Discover University actually really kind of matched it. So I don't think that the table is from the pack, but those chairs are. And I just decided to continue on with that sort of slate blue gray color from the kitchen tile all the way around this part of the room. I thought that rug tied in really nicely. It is from that same pack as the wall tile. I just thought that it was super pretty and bright and looked like something that could have either come with the house and was there when the students moved in, or something that they provided themselves. The bathroom, I kept the same tile because it just made a lot of sense to keep it that way, using those Parenthood counters that I love so much, and just making a cute little half bath there right by the door. I think it's really convenient for people. I have no idea what happened there. I ended up really deleting like the whole home that I had just created, but I got it back. Put that plant in the corner again for some greenery. Place that table up against that window, and then so I can fill it with some like knickknacks and items that maybe the students have placed there as they've come in from class or studying at the library or something. I love those magazines. I love those study books. I just think that they're so realistic. I don't love the Post-its there all the time, because like right here, on this little table, they don't really look like they fit. But I still really love them. I think they're really cute. I see so many people who go ahead and put paintings on that make it look like as if they're sitting on a table or sitting on a shelf, and I just love that. So I've definitely stolen that from other people, because I think it's a really cute way to display paintings, and not have to bother with trying to find things that fit on those shelves, because as I've described before, trying to find items, decorative items that fit on those shelves is maddening. So originally I had put just 2 bedrooms. The student housing is supposed to have 4 beds available for students. And so I made sure to get 4 beds in here. But they're definitely a tight squeeze. And I end up moving, that purple bed out into another bedroom that I end up creating. So that there is the option of a couple of single beds. And there's also the shared bedroom. I tried to give some options with the idea that, some people might enjoy having an actual roommate in their room, while others might not. So this is me trying to figure out exactly how much space I need for that bedroom, and to also make sure that I get a full bath into this second floor, since there's just the half bath on the first. I didn't think it'd be realistic to have 2 full baths in a house like this. 1.5 baths seems pretty standard since the home isn't that large. So I beef up these single bedrooms, with some desks and other elements to make sure that students have different spaces. Put this table here. I end up deleting 2 chairs on the right so that we have space for a bookshelf and things don't feel too cramped. But the idea that students would have various locations around the house to study and do their homework. Some students could use the desk, someone could use the table, that computer is available, and there's also the kitchen table downstairs. I love these chairs, and I forget so often that they exist. And so when I found them in this really cool, bright color swatch, I ended up using those as sort of the focal piece for the room, and ended up building the entire rest of the design for the aesthetic elements for the house off of those black and white or black and blue striped chairs because I just think that they're so cute. And here I am just cluttering up those shelves that again look like something straight out of IKEA. Something that I'm sure is pretty affordable for students, or could have been provided by the homeowners without great cost. So I ended up deciding to use a pretty neutral color. I think I just ended up using that white all throughout most of the bedrooms, creating a couple of accent walls, like in that little study nook area with the blue, just to kind of brighten some things up, but not make everything sort of crazy. I did end up using this cool carpet that we just gotten. A couple of them are from Base Game, and then the one, that really cool geometric pattern, is from Discover University. So that actually is from the University Pack. I rarely put carpet into my builds, and so I wanted to try to really replicate college homes and homes that actual college students live in. So everything has blinds. There's usually carpet. Hardwood floors are expensive. I tried for so long to make that double blind work, and I just got so frustrated that I ended up just putting in the singles. Then I discovered that I had almost forgotten to furnish a living room for these students. I don't do anything crazy. I think I just end up putting in a couple of couches, a place for them to watch some television, maybe a couple of skill building items over toward the window around on the front of the house, a gaming system, nothing major. I didn't think that student housing would probably be that heavily furnished. If students weren't bringing their own furniture, and that most of the stuff that they would probably have would be sort of like things that they had just found. I do think I probably could have done a little bit more of the like mismatched furniture, but at this time I was just sort of like throwing together some things, trying to make sure that they had enough skill building things that they could do what they need to for their various degrees that they might have. At this point I just make some decisions. Oh yeah, I realized that I couldn't have a stove on a university property. And so I just end up moving the microwave and sticking in a coffee pot instead, making sure they have a trash can, those required features for uploading it and for saving it as a university home.